When I lost my mom in 2018, that's when the turning point was for me. I had a choice to make. I could either continue to go down this path of self-destruction, self-sabotage, or I could once again do the hard thing and grow and move forward. However, that was not easy to do. It was a really hard task to think about moving forward when the one person that believed in me most wouldn't be here cheering me on. But I felt compelled and called to keep moving, because if this incredible, amazing human being believed in me, then I should definitely believe in myself. Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale. I am your new co-host, Maddie, and I am thrilled to be here and sharing in this podcast journey with you all. So in today's episode, I'll share my story, my background, how I got here, as well as what I hope to bring to future episodes for you all. But first, we start with my origin journey, because I feel and I know that it's so important to paint the full and honest picture of where I came from and where I am today. So in the past, in my early life, I had my struggles. I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with self-doubt and limiting beliefs. And this led me to miss a lot of opportunities in my life. And I was fortunate enough growing up that my parents were amazing. They provided me with tons of opportunity, right? So I was very fortunate growing up. My parents, they created a life that they made sure that I had plenty of opportunities growing up. However, because I struggled with these feelings of self-doubt and I had my insecurities, I did miss out on a lot of opportunities. For example, volleyball, right? I tried out for the volleyball team and I made it to the last day of tryouts. And then I never tried out again because I was so scared to fail and I didn't want to fail again. Track, I was a promising track athlete. I had coaches and teachers just say that I had all this potential, but it didn't matter. You'd catch me ditching practice. You'd catch me in line to run a race and I would just disappear because I didn't have the tools or the coping mechanisms to deal with that level of pressure. And this translated into my work and all aspects of my life. And it ultimately led me to a life of inactivity as well as complacency in every single aspect. And again, I had people telling me that I had all this potential, but it didn't matter because I lacked the confidence and I lacked the self-love for myself. And it was at an all-time low. And after years of these patterns of just disbelief and not doing enough in my mind, so after years of these patterns of just not believing in myself, I developed poor relationships. And it wasn't until I got out of a truly toxic and abusive relationship that I felt like I needed to change. Like I felt I needed an outlet for all the anger, the confusion, and the guilt that I had in my life. And so I turned to running because that's what I knew. I knew I needed to do something, and that wasn't really the funnest thing for me to do. There was a block there. So I was like, let's try group fitness. Maybe if I'm not alone, it'll be more palpable and just easier to get through. So then I did my research and I found group fitness, which led me to kickboxing. And I was scared to start. I was so afraid. Just like I know many of our clients at FitBody are afraid to walk through those doors for the first time. And so I know that fear all too well. That's why it's important for me to create a space where people don't feel judged and always accepted, which I'll get into in a second. But again, I knew that fear, but I did it anyway. And I did it scared, and I stayed consistent with it. And so about a year and a half or two into kickboxing as a client, they asked me to be a coach. And that was my first coaching gig. And I remember, again, another obstacle, another challenge. I was so scared. I remember I bought a kickboxing bag. It was in my basement. I would practice the routines for the classes, practice what I was going to say. My brother was my guinea pig, and we would just go through it because I wanted to do a good job. And so that was different for me. I was doing hard things, and I started to see a version of myself coming through that I hadn't really seen before. And this version, again, was doing things that she was scared to do, which was pretty cool. I don't want to make it sound totally glamorous and perfect. I still didn't have the best habits. I didn't have the best mindset or even the best relationships. So I was still a work in progress, but slowly I was starting to find myself. When I lost my mom in 2018, that's when the turning point was for me. I had a choice to make. I could either continue to go down this path of self-destruction, self-sabotage, or I could once again do the hard thing and grow and move forward. However, that was not easy to do. It was a really hard task to think about moving forward when the one person that believed in me most wouldn't be here cheering me on. But I felt compelled and called to keep moving, because if this incredible, amazing human being believed in me, then I should definitely believe in myself. And so I wanted to honor who she was as well as the person that she thought I could be. And I made some changes quite shortly after she passed away. I left a relationship of 2 years. I started working out regularly, learning about nutrition, all of this stuff just like slowly was changing. And I felt my anxiety that I had grown up with my entire life, I felt that dissipating, and I felt that self-doubt within myself slowly getting quieter. And this gave me, these little actions gave me the confidence to dream a little bit bigger for myself, because I saw that putting health and wellness as priorities, I saw how that can completely transform my own life. And so I wanted to do that for others. And I thought, let's open a gym. How hard could it be? Let's change some lives, right? No business experience, no college degrees, any of that. But I did have a dream and I had a vision, and it was something that I wanted to go for. And I told my dad, and it was him who found Fit Body Bootcamp in 2019. And I remember my first call with Bryce, our CEO. It was so genuine and earnest, and you could feel what Fit Body was about, those relationships, that community, and of course, providing lasting results to their clients. And I was like, this is a no-brainer, sign me up. And so we were off to the races in 2020 to open our doors with 100 clients, or so I thought. The pandemic had other ideas, of course. And so another challenge we had to face. We had to be creative and slowly build and just put our heads down. And honestly, we crawled. And I had to let go of an entire team that I built without being able to open our doors for the first time. I took on 25 clients that I had never met before, never seen before online. We pivoted to online coaching, doing at-home workouts, and that's what we did for the first few months. And then in June of 2020, we were able to have 5 clients come in at a time. And it was those same 25 people that I had been coaching. They came into the facility. And it sounds strange, but I'm so grateful to have started those relationships the way we did, because it was a slow build and I got to know these people. And we built those close relationships over a slow period of time. We were eventually able to have 10 people in the facility, 15, and now from 25 clients to almost 300 clients, and a beautiful and thriving community of coaches and clients. And I just have so much gratitude for these people, some of who from the beginning are still with us today. Have so much gratitude for that community and believing in our mission and our vision, and for believing in themselves enough to show up, even during that tough time for everyone. And so I share my story with you because without these experiences and these shifts in my mindset and my health, I would not be sitting here today. And so I want to help people live a healthier life. That has guided me to make such a positive and impactful change within my own life. And I'm literally walking proof that there is power in mindset. There's power in having the right relationships, and there's power in doing the hard thing. And it's my hope that in sharing these stories and my strategies that they can help inspire and support others to see their gifts and offer valuable and relatable content that really resonates with you. Because in operating a facility, I've seen firsthand how meaningful conversations can truly, deeply impact others. It's the shared human experience, the shared human struggle that really paves the way for people to make change in their lives. I've seen that in operating a fit body. And it's through our shared stories that we know we're not alone. And again, I'm just so honored and humbled to be here. And I'd love if you all would share your thoughts, your questions, and topics that you'd like to discuss. So thank you again for welcoming me as your new co-host. Can't wait to share more with you. See you next time.